Our grand challenge is making solar energy economical, and our group is Jacob Eaton, Dylan Hampton, Chris McKenzie, and Levi Wilson. Obviously, in this PowerPoint, we're going to go over why making solar energy economical is a grand challenge. And so, in order for us to know why it is a grand challenge, we need to know what solar energy would be replacing. And we would be replacing fossil fuels. That's what we use now. It makes up the highest percentage of energy in the world today. And so, that's what we're trying to replace. And the reason why is because fossil fuels are non renewable, they'll eventually run out. And solar energy, on the other hand, is renewable. We won't run out of the sun. Our most modern and efficient fossil fuel power plants are only 40% efficient, and some other ones are even as low as 30% efficient, and that just means about 60% of energy from fossil fuels that we can obtain is just being lost to heat. And then also fossil fuels produce gases that are toxic to the environment and then for us to breathe. And really, do you want to live in a world full of smog?
All right, so first we need to know what we have to overcome. And the graph to the left, it shows how solar energy is mostly lost through heat. We don't retain all of it. In the middle, it shows how we can only get solar energy through the middle of the day for obvious reasons. And on the right, it shows how U.S. energy sources, only 7% of it comes from renewable energy. And regarding the efficiency of solar energy is renewable, making it a lot more valuable than fossil fuels, but it's still ineffective if it is not efficient enough to provide energy to the whole world. Our most efficient photovoltaic cells, PV cells, are only 10 to 30% efficient, which is currently worse than any efficiency of fossil fuels that we use today. PV cells are also expensive to produce, and the only way to make solar energy more efficient is to make these PV cells more efficient and more affordable to be made.
So what fuels these cells is sunlight, obviously. It works kind of like a generator. The PV cells must be stored in a way, which is the biggest issue, because obviously sunlight is not out all the time, such as nighttime, cloudy days, and panels not being angled properly also can cause the cells not to be harvested.
The US and other nations are very guilty of pouring money into other forms of energy. The US only spent $273 million for all sources of renewable energy. That's not just solar. That includes any source of energy that isn't fossil fuels, basically. Um, Whereas on fossil fuels, they spent 1.3 billion in 1996. Panels need to talk about and display the claims and needs for solar energy to gain political support amongst the US and other nations for it to become widespread. Jobs are also heavily debated in politics. Short term, the concern is that we would lose a lot of jobs, whereas solar energy, when researched to be more efficient and breaks through political barriers, can supply millions of jobs in the US alone.
We need dedicated, passionate young engineers like yourselves.
You have to take on this challenge.
Provide long-term energy and sustain the future.
Solar energy is the key to clean, reliable energy for generations, if only we can make it more economical.